that being Chua.
Something we like, JJ, you and I talked about, is this big break. It's definitely standing out for me. Capito probably hitting him about as good.
It could maybe get underneath the pink. Okay, happy to see that one going down just to try and get in control here on the pink four. But sometimes even aware, it's hard to calm it down. Those 2 wins yesterday should help. That's going to hurt a bit, though, because that was fairly routine. Yeah, I like using the 4 underneath, even though if you give up a look on the 4, it could cost you because that's where the containing balls are, the 6, 8, 7, 9. But I think you're supposed to hit your mark. Coming maybe all the way around here. Wow, he hit it so thin, he caught the 8. Never expected that.
Yeah, he had a lot of outside ball on it, right? And when it's going that far, you've got to assume it's going to take a little bit more than you think. 2 ball than the outside there.
Yeah, and, a unique format. I think it's easy to get too involved. Not quite as many players in the practice room early as we saw in the first 2 days, but I think they're getting used to the table and possibly trying to, kind of plan for another long day, getting used to this format.
Breaks the balls real good. Executes a pretty good long 3 ball and a suspect defensive play. And then another little bit of a suspect hit. How's that going to affect him going forward in this match? A lot of pressure going to end up on Pehlivanovic, I think, throughout this match.
Yeah, overran his mark, so good he dug on that. That way he stays away from that right side rail and can really handle a lot on the 8. Don't want it to arc a whole lot. Yeah. Nice shot. I think you just got to forget about the day before a little bit. Lean on some good things always, but this has been really up and down. I thought for Johann, it looks like he's got it down for a little bit, but then he had some struggles. Give yourself a full look at it and also be able to assess, are you really hitting the ball how you want? Or are you having some change here and there? Big shot there from Sanjin. Should dress up on the combination pretty nicely. Man, don't take your eye off this little combo. Shouldn't be a problem, but confident stroke there.
Yeah, now he's going to have to come to the bottom rail, JJ. Yeah, it looks like he is. You can really fall straight this way.
Yeah, I didn't understand the stun. It looked like he was stunning. I was going to say, if you're going to go 2 cushions, it's just a high ball.
Maybe a little early for Pehlivanovic.
Yeah, and that's the kind of decision that the pool gods really frown on as far as a big mistake. They can really penalize you in racks to come, let alone rack number 2, and now going to drop most likely behind 2-0 and Johann Chua to break. I don't think so. I mean, I think he could have drew that easily up the table off the bottom cushion. And, excuse me, it's going to be Sanjin to break in game number 3. Johann with a dry break here in game 2. All right, he's got to draw the cue ball, just broaden this above the 9.
Haven't seen as much of the shoulder issues so far this morning with Chua. Maybe pump yourself up a bit.
Yeah, this thing here will help you out, I'll tell you. It's a big weapon to have. And just a little nudge up the rail and just come straight across.
Yeah, a little quick there and just not all together, right?
I know my areas that my common struggles kind of sit in, and I'm sure you know yours. And but the one thing that Sanjin that sometimes you can scratch your head is when you're having a lot of problems.
Kind of compiling on it. Wants to come to the second rail here. That's not going to finish well for him.
No, he could cut it if he wanted. Killed the ball nicely.
Newhausen leading 2-0. He did just miss a cross corner versus Labutis. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he just draws this ball. He loves that power draw. Yeah, he had, like you say, JJ, a little bit more angle than what the...
Be coming 3 rails inside the 9 on the top side of it. Surprised he hit it that hard, but did fall. One of the players that everyone likes to watch, including the other players themselves, I think. Just never know what you might see from Johann Chua. Now we see a 3-0 lead. So he's got to clean it up. That's for sure. Chua to break here in game number 4. That's his best break I've seen in a couple days. Got the 1 down pretty easily. Tough shot on the 2, but it's almost what you want to see with Chua, right? Kind of hits the ball nice and clean. He won't really overhit it. Still get the draw on the ball.
Yeah, I was wondering if the pocket had something to do with his middle 2 fingers there on the bridge. It seemed like he couldn't quite get the hand settled. Needs to put a couple good strokes together here in this rack. There's one of them. I don't want to finish straight.
He tries to draw the ball.
Could just wedge him up behind them. Well, you just let it rip again.
Yeah, no picnic now.
Yeah, everything is off. Again, Pehlivanovic.
So is this chip safety. It's not near as easy as it looks. Also, got to beat the 8, but not overhit it. He'll be happy. Even if he gave up a piece, he recognizes, these guys recognize, their opponent that's struggling.
I'm sure he'd like to continue last night versus today. Well, look at this hit go. He's going to get a little reward out of this, JJ.
Yeah. And
3 rail it out here and maybe use the purple.
he'll take that. This is going to work. I think, anyways.
Yeah, he tapped his cue on the table, so.
I think he can see the full ball, but not any kind of cut. Maybe the bank. This is really getting lost. So little things way off. I think, anyways. He's not in control of anything mechanically.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, right? He struggles all of day 1, half of yesterday. All of a sudden, he puts a couple good sets together, right? And you go to bed thinking, well,
So throwing this, maybe? Could lose the rock here.
He loves to let it go with control. Yeah, you don't see the stiffness in the shoulder and the neck. Oh. I don't know that he had to hit it at that speed, but that's what Chua does. That's what makes him great.
But I do think, if he doesn't get out from somebody, it's just like you just don't know about any shot at the moment.
Yeah, he's second-guessing kind of all the way. Used the entire clock.
Ain't quite stunned with the lower left there. Don't want to go with just a dead high ball. But he kind of did a little bit of both. It's cleanest struck ball we've seen this match. Round robin stage, but, odds are, if he does get in, it's going to be right at that line. Games 1 at 0 right here could really come back and haunt in a tie-breaking kind of situation, because we talked about it last night. When you have a couple players, even just one player, that hasn't won a match. But if you have 2 or 3 that are winning 0 or just 1 match or 2 matches come towards the end, you've been going at him with a little more pace, and that's pure frustration.
Just quickly kicks at the ball. We had a rollout option or 2.
And left side spin.
Yeah, you just don't want to hit this too hard. It won't take. Oh, how'd he do? Worked perfectly to the pink.
Yeah, it looks like the green 6 does go by the 8. You know, we're looking forward, right, to where, you know, this 5-0 loss, a loss, of course, hurts regardless at this moment for Sanjin. But
yeah, well, it really never started great, right? He got the 3 down. The buzzer goes off with the next shot, which was a safety, and he completely failed on the execution there and then followed up with the same thing. So as we discuss it,
yeah, that scratch, remember, in the corner, really to tie the match at 1 apiece. A nice stroke there, holding the ball. So day 3, pretty much how he started days 1 and 2.
yeah, since day 1, he's really looked the same at the table. Nothing's changed at all. Nothing glaring. It was not good. Everything looking good for Chua.